What is this? I don't understand this thing. What is this? What is this? I do like it. But it's scary. Dee 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 dee. Hey guys, today I'm gonna be reacting to my friend's vlog video of Rosetta Stone, the Warrior, and it's very interesting. Okay, so Rosetta Stone, the Warrior.
There was an okay baby, but soon he started to grow.
What is this?
Bloodthirsty.
I don't like it. I do like it. It's weird.
She became known for her power.
Oh no.
She knew how to wield a sword.
That's not even a sword. What the? She's beating up her brother. She's a terrible person. Now her brother is trying to kill her.
Sometimes was one of the worst warriors, and other times one of the best warriors. Sometimes she's the best warrior, sometimes she's the worst. But in all cases, she's one of the best.
Okay, that was very weird. But we're gonna watch Rosetta Stone versus the evil brother.
Once there was a brother of Rosetta Stone, but he wasn't as good as the other sister. He was full of evil. He wanted to kill his older sister. But every time he tried, he never succeeded. But this time he was tried. And this time he got pretty close. But Rosetta Stone would not let that happen. But Rosetta Stone... the Dark Warrior would always joke around during battle. That's what got him killed most. That's what made him lose most of the time. But now Rosetta Stone was a different warrior. He was not joking around as much. He was focused. Will he defeat Rosetta Stone, or will Rosetta Stone win it?
What Okay, let's watch something else. This is just... Wait. D. I'm gonna react to thanks you guys.
It's me, Steven, again. I made a video yesterday. It's called Smash Bros. Go check it out. It's good, but the bad thing is you have to turn your phone a weird way to actually see the fight. And some people have watched it. Thank you for watching. And I'm kind of proud that we have 5 subscribers. That might not be so much, but like they need the support. And support me, come on. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bells. I'll try and make daily updates. See you later, guys.
What the? Okay, so that didn't have anything to be. What the? What the? He put a heart down there on it. Wow, just wow. He likes all the girls up there. Okay, let's watch something else. I haven't seen anything scary in a while. So let's watch the first. Okay. Go subscribe to Dead Meat.
What's my final score?
6.
Ooh. And how many do I need to pass?
6. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James H. Denise, and today we're looking at The First Purge, released in 2018 as a prequel to the first 3 Purge films. The Purge series, of course, centers around the annual holiday in a fictional timeline of the United States where crime is made legal for 12 hours, resulting in lots and lots of murder. The series became increasingly political as it went on, with franchise creator and writer-director of the original trilogy, James DeMonico, exploring how such a lawless holiday would affect the disenfranchised of America. The first Purge, by which I mean this movie, not the original Purge film, damn that's confusing, is no exception. It shows how this whole experiment, right from the get-go, was used by the privileged in power to take advantage of those less fortunate. I covered the original.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James H. Denise, and today we're looking at The First Purge, released in 2018 as a prequel to the first 3 Purge films. The Purge series, of course, centers around the annual holiday in a fictional timeline of the United States where crime is made legal for 12 hours, resulting in lots and lots of murder. The series became increasingly political as it went on, with franchise creator and writer-director of the original trilogy, James DeMonico, exploring how such a lawless holiday would affect the disenfranchised of America. The first Purge, by which I mean this movie, not the original Purge film, damn that's confusing, is no exception. It shows how this whole experiment, right from the get-go, was used by the privileged in power to take advantage of those less fortunate. I covered the original Purge trilogy last summer, and the experience still gives me nightmares. Kill counting those bastards took days of frame-by-framing and looking for bodies in the background, and when it was all said and done, Election Year, the third Purge film, unseated the Belko experiment as the new kill count record holder, with 116 victims. It's held that title for the past 8 months, because in the 50-plus movies I've covered since then, not a single one of them has had a higher kill count. Pretty damn impressive. But does that all change today? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get to the kills.
Oh no. Wait, yes.
The movie begins with a scary Scary dude telling us what he does in his spare time.
I'm Piper!
This insane motherfucker is named Skeletor, and he's being interviewed by a government stooge about the best way to release all the hatred and anger he has inside.
Just a fucking purge! All the shit that eats me up! Purge. Interesting, terrible.
Yeah, interesting enough for a title card. Red, white, and purge, baby! A news montage shows us the present condition of the US of A, and it's not very good. There's high unemployment, another housing crisis, an opioid epidemic. Sucks that last one's real in our timeline, too. All this turmoil has led to a third party having some unrealistic success. It's the new Founding Fathers of America, who, the movie notes, gets most of their funding from the NRA. That gun money and a healthy dose of both sidesism wins the NFFA the White House, and milquetoast President Bracken promises America that he'll make everything okay. Bump on over to Staten Island 2 days before the experiment, as the purge is currently being called. Instead of the nationwide purge we know from the other films, this first iteration will be restricted to Staten Island as a sort of laboratory of purgeocracy. The government has set up trailers here to conduct more close-up bright white interviews, and these give us all the exposition we need to know. Participants in the experiment will get $5,000 just to stay on Staten Island with a tracking device in their arm, and could make additional money if they engage in further participation.
You mean kill someone?
If you feel compelled.
All these poor people are lined up to partake in what they see as easy money. They don't need to kill anyone or commit any crimes. They can just stay home and make $5 grand. But some people think this experiment is messed up, which, you know, it is. So there are some lively protests outside the trailers led by activist Naya. Naya is played by Lex Scott Davis, who was Tony Braxton in that one Lifetime movie. And she lives in the nearby Park Hill Towers, a low-income housing project based on the actual Park Hill apartments of Staten Island, which had high crime in the 80s and 90s, and which is where the Wu-Tang Clan comes from. And I hear they're nothing to fuck with. Naya lives with her brother Isaiah, who is not very happy about the leaky condition of their low-rent apartment. As the protesters chant "Do not purge," CNN's Van Jones, playing himself, interviews NFFA Chief of Staff Arlo Sabian, a kind of Sean Spicer-looking dude who defends the purge alongside behavioral scientist Dr. May Updale, played by Aunt May Parker, Marissa Tomei. I still can't believe they made Aunt May so hot. Dr. Updale came up with the experiment, but promises that it isn't political. It's just a way to help people vent their emotions. The protests are observed by local drug kingpin Dimitri, a cool, calm, and collected Stringer Bell type whose allies include 3 loyal lieutenants and a trio of retired OGs.
We the 3 Stooges on our best day. Mo, Larry, Jerry Curl.
D calls a business meeting and tells his crew they're not allowed to participate in the purge because it's too much a liability for him and his drug trade. One dude, Capital A, whines that Dimitri should allow them to observe the holiday as they please. But this chick Blaze shuts down that insubordination in a jiffy. Dimitri's drug trade includes corners like this one, which is one chessboard short of being straight out the wire. Isaiah is secretly working here in order to afford better living conditions, and it's an unenviable entry-level position since it means having to deal with crazy customers like Skeletor. You know what? I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't be saying such mean things about this dude. I might just be judging a book by its cover. Oh, he's got a razor in his mouth. After slashing Isaiah in the neck with it, he runs off tee-heeing as the corner crew unsuccessfully shoots after him. Naya comes home and sees her brother's neck wound, so she heads to Dee's office to yell at and hit him. Turns out these two used to date before he got into the whole drug dealing business. Dee says he had no idea that Isaiah was working his corners and invites both of the siblings to stay with him during the purge so he can keep them safe. Naya appears to consider it until Dee also says that he'll take care of Skeletor, and that drives her away from him again because she ain't down with this gangsta life he leads.
We gonna have to make choices in life to heal or to hurt, and you chose the latter.
Damn, Dee. Looks like it's gonna take a lot to unbreak her heart. Placed on leave from his corner job, Isaiah turns to purge participation for income, and his orientation includes a purger starter kit that contains the blue Batesia flowers that have been a symbol of purge support since that very first movie with Ethan Hawke and Queen Lita Headey.
And don't forget to buy your blue Batesias. Show your support for this important evening.
Although I think they forgot about them entirely in Anarchy and Election Year. Oh well. Isaiah's starter kit also includes some contact lenses that serve a dual function. They're recording devices, and they look fucking awesome. It's like Minority Report on your eyeball, son. An hour before the first purge begins, the bridges to and from the island are closed, and people are out with their Armageddon signs. Some Staten Islanders, like this lady Louisa, played by Dexter's Lauren Velez, and her daughter Selena, take refuge inside a church. These people aren't sticking around to commit crimes, they just want that government money.
$5,000 to stay? It's life-changing for us.
Naya is staying to help out around the church, and Isaiah lies to her that he's safe off the island, even though in reality, he's sticking around to go all He-Man on Skeletor.
You say Skeletor?
Everyone from the sinners to the saints watches on TV as President Brackett counts down to that classic Purge emergency broadcast, which concludes with the by now iconic Purge sirens. Damn, I love that scary-ass noise. Oh, also, fun fact, this movie doesn't have Edwin Hodge, who played the Stranger/Dwayne Dante Bishop in the first 3 movies. Because he's not around, Cindy Robinson, voice of the Purge announcement, is now the only actor to be in every Purge movie so far.
May God be with you all.
Isaiah heads out to look for Skeletor and witnesses a bevy of sights, including glowy-eyed people creepily staring at him through their windows, and my personal favorite of this movie's side characters, these 2 women listening to Daz Band and pushing around a shopping cart full of baby dolls. Damn, these ladies are loving it. Turns out their baby dolls are explosives that they line the street with, and they nearly end up purging Isaiah just for kicks. Sadly, that's all we get of these gals, but they are a hoot. Other, more consequential antagonists are also prepped for purging. Capital A, that purge-hungry dealer in Dimitri's crew, gives a perspiring speech and pumps his crew up with rhetoric and recreational drugs. Meanwhile, Skeletor, who's a huge Dream Warriors fan, doesn't need a crew, and instead psychs himself up all on his own.
Skeletor's purge is on.
He heads out to where this one dude is trying to rob an ATM with impunity and secures the first kill of the Purge.
Just when you want to like get rid of the bags again. I mean, it absolutely could be a daily thing, but the way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. Use a small amount because it's so powerful. Apply it underneath your eyes. Fine line break exposure lines. We got eyes for you. Means you have events you want to go to. You want to look ears under. This is a
Killer and Dimitri's crew gives a perspiring speech and pumps his crew up with rhetoric and recreational drugs. Meanwhile, Skeletor, who's a huge Dream Warriors fan, doesn't need a crew and instead psychs himself up all on his own.
Skeletor's purge is on.
He heads out to where this one dude is trying to rob an ATM with impunity and secures the first kill of the Purge and the kill count by stabbing the guy with his knife.
You see me, NFFA?
Yeah, you're kinda hard to miss, man. You're 6'2" with head scars and glowing eyes. But so far, Skeletor the kill count by stabbing the guy with his knife.
You see me, NFFA?
Yeah, you're kinda hard to miss, man. You're 6'2" with head scars and glowing eyes. But so far, Skeletor is the only person interested in murder. A pawn shop does get robbed, but besides that, most people are just chilling and not killing. They're even having raves, as the NFFA discovers. Isaiah runs into his friend / corner manager Kels, and the two of them go to one of these purge parties, which looks like